fun, therefore this is going to be our main case. We're at the point where opening governments say that they will not subject criminals to cruel and unusual punishment. Our only burden in this debate is to show that preventing people from committing crimes is often cruel and unusual punishment, and then we win the debate by the metric they have set. We're going to claim two things here. Firstly, about the harms to the right to self-defense, and why we believe that is an inherent feature, no matter how they magic out this sort of mechanism. Secondly, about why generally you should have the ability to opt out of the state's social contract, and why we believe that crime is the way of doing that. This is going to be my two main points, and then why given that it's just not a legitimate choice to place before people, even if they consent to it. Before that, just 2 points of rebuttal. One, we are going to bitch a bit about the practicalities and say that basically their mechanism on a practical level is giving people a get out of jail free card. Everyone in society has one opportunity to commit whatever crime they want, and they know then they can just walk out of jail the next day by implanting that chip. We think that is a horrible incentive that is likely to lead to significantly more crime in future, and we believe that is more important than rehabilitating people who have already offended against society in a slightly better way. We just think that they are going to harm significantly more people, more murder, more sexual assault, more things that are just horrible to inflict upon society at large. Then, also, we don't accept their notion that jail is inherently a terrible thing to be in. Note Scandinavia, the Netherlands, they have quite good conditions actually in jail in many of these places. Alon van Dam claims that our habitations in Dutch worlds were worse than they give Dutch criminals in that country. So we just don't accept it. Okay, so the right to self-defense. Note, the law is the very fact that you have entire trials to determine whether something was self-defense or not within a given situation means that it is impossible to program into an algorithm telling me at that exact point you have the ability to harm someone else in order to save your own life. We just think that characterization cannot stand unless this motion is just magical mind reading. So we just don't think they can fiat that in because something that also means just the justice system is generally perfect now in determining exactly the legal circumstances. We just don't think that is a fair characterization. So why do we believe that? And note also on a practical level, people coming from within a society that has criminal norms are likely in many situations to be in a situation when they are threatened by others, when defending themselves may require stepping outside the bounds of the law. Note moreover that people know that they can prey on them because they have no ability to guard themselves once that chip has been implanted in them. Just think Clockwork Orange and the sort of treatment that person is subject to at the point where he can't fight his aggressor. Now, why is this crucial? Two things. One, the rationale of the social contract in general. Basically, the legitimacy granted to the state to impact any sort of violations on my rights. We say the state engages in massive violence against citizens on a constant basis, and we say the only rationale given that can justify this is the notion that there is a certain consent that I have given to being subject to this treatment. Now, why is this important? Because first of all, we say that the assumed consent here means that I have given up certain rights for more important things. We say that at the point where my life is in jeopardy, that is there is no other rights that can be maintained by the state any further at that point. Why is this? What does that mean? That means at that point the social contract is null. It no longer is nullified for me. It no longer provides, the state no longer has any legitimacy to take away any of my rights at the point where it's providing me nothing and it's able to provide me nothing in return. So we just say that there is no excuse and no justification for the state to limit my ability to defend myself. Secondly, we say that the most important thing and crucial thing for most people is preserving their life. We say that when my agency is fully invested in that, then first of all, denying that is a denial of my agency and my autonomy on the most fundamental level, and moreover, the knowledge that I might be subject to that I may be in a situation where I will not be able to do anything, not to lift a finger to save my life if someone else threatens them, is cruel and unusual punishment, is mental torture to these people. But let's take it more broadly now and talk about why generally we believe that the state does not, that committing crime in general is a right people have. Note, governments concede this when they answer the POI, when they say we're not going to put this chip in everyone because that constitutes a certain violation of right. Now, they don't specify what that right is, but they do acknowledge it exists. Now, we say that this right is essentially the right to opt out of the social contract. What does that mean? We say that crime is often linked, for example, with the fact that I have been deprived of resources by the state, that I've been deprived of opportunities by the state, that the state has placed higher burdens on me than it is placed on others. We're saying that when that is the situation, for example, with many minority communities, then crime is, we believe, a legitimate retaliation against that. Why? Because again, when there is a breach of contract on one side, when the state is not providing me those essential rights that is obligated to provide to me, then I have the right as well to opt out and to violate some rights of others. Note, not necessarily of other individuals, but definitely of the state. Yes.
Yes, we as a state are responsible because of our failed criminal system for the fact you have higher chance to crime again. Therefore, we have the obligation to allow you to remove this barrier that we put on you.
Okay, but it's not allowing, right? I'm going to touch on that in a second in the issue of choice. But just to conclude this point, we say that doing crimes against state institutions, against the public space, for example, is something that we believe is definitely within your rights when that contract is being breached against you. Now they say, oh, but the person consents to this, right? Two things on that. One, we say that certain rights are just too basic to allow people to give up on. We would not let a prisoner opt in to having his hands removed. We would not allow a prisoner to opt in to giving his liver in order to get out of jail. We just say that that placing that coercion, and note, there's also an incentive on their side to make the coercion worse, in the sense of making jail worse for people to take that chance. We say that is a coercive choice, that is not a free choice people are making. Secondly, we say people do not know, do not understand, do not conceptualize what they are giving up. Optimism bias and the notion that I will never be faced with this situation, that I know what I'm feeling in jail right now, but I don't know what I will be feeling outside of it tomorrow, that is exactly the situation where people, we believe, cannot make that rational choice, and we shouldn't impose them that choice if it's such an essential violation. We're very proud to oppose the motion. Thank you.